Welcome to African News Roundup. Starting off this segment, Gen Z protesters in Madagascar have voiced strong dissatisfaction after newly installed leader Colonel Michael Randriana appointed businessman Harry Salama Rajaonarivelu as prime minister. Rajaonarivelu, a prominent figure in Madagascar's financial business circles, was chosen for his experience and international connections, according to Randriana. The decision has angered young protesters who led the recent nationwide demonstrations that toppled Rajaonarivelu. Protest leaders criticized Colonel Michael's decision as being made without public consultation and warned that it signals a return to old political habits. They vowed to continue demonstrations, insisting that their revolution will not be hijacked by elite interests. Colonel Michael, who seized power in a military coup, was sworn in as president last week. Now, here is my analysis. Since the case of Madagascar reveals the increasing conflict between the new military-led regime and the youth movement in the country, young protesters who had the hopes of real change that the coup will bring have appeared to be actually disappointed by Colonel Michael appointing this person, Harry Salama, a new businessman associated with the old political and economic elite. The Gen Z movement seeks disclosure, involvement, and a fresh start because this appointment feels like a revisit to yesteryear's politics. This may result to further protest, and in the case of Colonel Michael, the biggest battle at this point is to demonstrate that his leadership can deliver actual change and not merely to change the ruling party with another, and with extraordinary change, he will be able to gain the trust of the people once again. Still on African news, a drone attack struck near Khartoum International Airport in Sudan early Tuesday, just a day before the airport was scheduled to reopen for domestic flights for the first time since the 2023 war began. Residents reported multiple explosions across the capital, and unverified social media videos showed several blasts. No casualties or damage have been confirmed, and no group has claimed this responsibility. The attack is the third in Khartoum within a week following drone strikes on two army bases in the city's northwest. Despite the army's control over Khartoum, sporadic attacks continue, with the RSF accused of striking from afar. Meanwhile, the RSF has intensified efforts to seize El Fasher, the army's last stronghold in Darfur. The prolonged conflict, which began as a power struggle between military factions, has drawn in foreign actors and caused one of the world's worst humanitarian crises. Now, this is what I think about this news. The drone attack to the Khartoum airport underscores the unstable security in Sudan despite the army taking over the capital. This shows that even the Rapid Support Forces (RSF) can still be able to attack without the distances and destabilize the process of restoring normal life. And the fact that the attack was made right before the airport was expected to reopen indicates that they were still trying to discredit the government on its opposed stability. It also shows the power struggle that exists between the army and the RSF that has led to instability in the country. However, Sudan is still facing a humanitarian crisis that has displaced millions of people and broken down the economy. Sustainable peace will probably be unachievable until the two parties cease to wage war against each other and have serious negotiations. Now, finally on African news, Morocco's finance ministry has presented its 2026 draft budget to parliament, amounting to over 760 billion dirhams, which is $83 billion. A major highlight of the budget is the allocation of 140 billion dirhams, which is $50 billion, to health and education, a 16% rise from last year's spending. According to King Mohammed VI's office, that 27,000 new public sector jobs will be created in these sectors, emphasizing efforts to enhance healthcare infrastructure and service delivery. So the budget also prioritizes reducing regional inequalities with targeted development initiatives for mountain areas, the country's coastline, to promote sustainability. As these policy moves follow a wave of nationwide protests led by largely Gen Z activists who have voiced frustration over poor healthcare and education systems. Demonstrators have also criticized the government's focus on funding sport projects ahead of the 2030 FIFA World Cup instead of addressing pressing social needs. This is what I think about this. Since Morocco's 2026 budget reveals that the government is trying to address the pressure of the people and enhance basic services, also that the government tries to eradicate long-term problems that caused the latest protest by implementing a 16% increase in expenditure on health and education and generating 27,000 new employment opportunities at the state level, thereby concentrating on the reduction of inequalities in region and in development of rural and coastal areas, then this implies a pull towards a more balanced national development. Even though the budget is responding to social issues, the fact still remains that the economic growth projections have decreased slightly and that the budget is still spending on huge projects such as the World Cup infrastructures that can put these objectives into question. However, as long as the money is effectively utilized to the areas of need, there will be better transformation of the country. All this news research were gotten from Africa News and BBC Africa. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.